Hello everybody and welcome back to the TRVL Travel Photography podcast. This is our third official episode and we have a special guest with us, a new face to the channel. You may not recognize this lovely lady, but this is Libby Edwards from South Africa, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Could you introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Libby. I come from Johannesburg and I've been working for many years as an advertising photographer.
Yes, full-time, correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah, I have clients like Kellogg's, McDonald's, KFC, those type of clients. So I'm quite studio bound.
Interesting. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on, actually, because Libby has done a few travel photography workshops with Brendan, with myself, and she's been a professional photographer for many, many years. And it's not too often that we get professional photographers on the workshops. Usually they're hobby photographers, people who are looking for an adventure and want to capture great photos at the same time. So what inspires you to do photography sort of outside of your job?
Well, I'm in a fortunate position of really loving photography. And so I just like all aspects of it. And so I don't go anywhere without a camera. So I love doing documentary, I do landscapes, architectural, and I just want to be better at landscapes because I think later on I may do it full time because I really enjoy it. Plus I also love traveling. Unfortunately, I'm a mad traveler, so any opportunity I love to go off and explore.
Yeah, I can tell that from the first moment I met you. I sort of knew of Libby and I'd followed her on socials, and I kind of thought that we would get along, and then when we first met I was like, okay, yeah, this woman is great. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to highlight her and her journey on this podcast. So we'll link to Libby's socials below. But tell me, how did you get started? Why did you start with photography? Did you start with a film camera? Was it a gift? Tell us your story.
Well, I'm originally from Swaziland, where I didn't know anything about photography because it's quite a small country. It's now called Eswatini.
Eswatini, I've been there.
Yeah, and so the only thing I knew about photographers were press photographers, and that didn't encourage me at all to become a photographer. But it was when I ended up going to Durban in South Africa to study photography that I just realized it was an amazing profession. We had very good lecturers, and I realized very quickly that advertising was the way to go.
Okay, so when did you get your first camera? What was it?
Well, my first camera was my father's camera, which I think is the case with most people, and it was a Canon, and I've remained loyal to Canon all these years.
You've been shooting Canon since then?
Yeah.
Wow, since the very beginning.
Yeah.
That sounds like Brendan.
And the only reason I started taking photographs was because my father was really bad at it.
Oh.
So I tried to help.
That's hilarious. Yeah, my first camera was a gift from my mom, actually. But it was a point and shoot, not a film.
Now, this
camera.
was an SLR.
Oh, yeah? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I know you had a bit of a history before getting into advertising. So what kind of led you to the world of product photography and advertising? How did you get into that?
Well, I worked in the magazine industry originally and made fantastic friends and had a lot of fun. But I realized that you couldn't afford to buy equipment and have a good life in magazine photography. It wasn't well paid, because I remember friends of mine were earning a quarter of what I could earn in advertising, and I just thought, no, I must do that. Plus I like the big city. Johannesburg's a fun city to live in. It's really interesting, and it's very lively and so I just wanted to be in the big city. I didn't want to stay in Durban. Cape Town at the time was very sleepy. Now it's become quite popular for photographers. So that was the other option. But Johannesburg was closer to Swaziland, and I wanted to be closer to my parents.
Yeah, I got that. So are you still working in advertising today?
Yes, very much so. In fact, advertising has become far more professional than it was originally. We don't work without huge briefs and treatments. And then over the last few years, we've been working with production people, whereas before I would arrange a whole production myself, but now I've actually got to hire in people to do that. And so our teams are between 10 and 20 people just for one shoot.
Unbelievable. I think that's a whole other side of what a lot of us know watching this video when it comes to travel photography. A lot of the viewers are landscape photographers, wildlife photographers, looking to explore the world through the lens in a way. Travel is number one, and photography is kind of a bonus of being able to experience new cultures. Right. So for you, I know you enjoy traveling. You're very well traveled. You've shot a ton of different locations across Southern Africa and the rest of the world. What inspires you to take your camera and go on these adventures?
I think it's just fun, just exploring and having a goal rather than because I don't like the goal just to be, eating and drinking. I prefer, like my husband, he prefers to have a good sunset drink, whereas I prefer great sunset landscape. And so I think that's why I came on these trips, because I find when I'm at home, it's very difficult to take photographs, because people, they say to you, why are you waking up so early in the morning? Why are you going to sleep so early? And I say, well, because I'm waking up so early to do sunrise. So I just find they're just factors that are against me taking really great landscape photographs.
Yeah, I find too that when we're surrounded by others that kind of feel the same way, they're like, we want to get up at 4 a.m. We want to go and shoot astro 4 nights in a row. It does become a bit easier to inspire yourself to go out there and do it.
And astro has been really great fun, because that's a whole new area for me.
Yeah, we're in Bolivia right now, by the way, guys. This is a very good dark skies part of the world. And we've been able to get out and get a couple of amazing photography sessions, between like 10:30, 11 and about 1 a.m. in the morning, which makes sleep relatively difficult. But as you said, it's about, getting up early and getting that best light.
Yeah.
So
we're very focused, and that's what I love about these trips.
That's true. We are very focused. We get a lot done in a short period of time. Now, tell me, like, if you were to define travel photography, how would you define it? What would you say? What is travel photography to you?
I think it's just the exploring. It's an adventure. I think it's, the adventure is what's wonderful about it.
Yeah.
And it's also, I think it's dealing with the light. I find that's quite interesting to try and accomplish a really great shot. I've realized that it's really hard to produce one. Mm-hmm. Because, I know all the basics of photography. In fact, on the first trip I went on, I didn't tell anyone I was a photographer and it was really quite funny, because nobody asked what I did for a living. Whereas in South Africa, it's the first thing people ask you.
Yeah, it's quite common in Germany as well.
So no one asked, and I didn't say anything. And I think we were about 8 days into the trip, and I said, actually, I'm a photographer. So, well, why are you on this? I said, no, well, I want to explore, and I love Namibia, and it's fun.
Oh, you went to, it was Namibia. It was the first trip.
Yes,
that's right.
yes,
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. That's pretty close to home too.
Yes.
Oh, good on you. Yeah. So that's a great definition. I agree with you. Could you give me an example? If you saw a photo and you're like, okay, wow, that looks like what I would consider a travel photo, something that inspires somebody or shows the whole kind of definition of a place. What would that look like to you?
Well, that would be maybe showing traditions in a particular country. Mm-hmm. Like coming from Africa, it would be what they're wearing, the environment that they're in. Yeah, sort of like a village.
Yeah, like the local culture. Yeah, and I know you've taken a lot of really good like documentary style photos in Ethiopia. You've done that kind of style of, I don't want to call it photojournalism, but more of documentary.
That's correct. So we call it humanitarian photography.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So for me, why I asked is because culture and villages and like different peoples and peoples kind of do fall into the travel experience for me if I'm there documenting it. But if you're there on assignment for a pharmaceutical company, it's a different story altogether, or an NGO, excuse me. So that's interesting. What about landscapes? Would you think that like landscape photography falls under travel, or could you shoot landscapes?
Yes, I think so. If it, for example, I also shoot game lodges in South Africa, mm-hmm. and in fact I've done some in Kenya, so throughout Africa. And in order to depict the lodge, I think it's quite good to show like a seascape or a landscape.
Yeah, where the lodge is within the landscape.
Yes. So you don't just show the bedrooms and the lounges and all that. I think it's also good to show the landscape. Yeah,
it's more than just the amenities.
So I have shot landscapes in my work, mm-hmm. but I just felt I had to get better at it, and I just enjoy the camaraderie on your trips. It's been great fun.
Thank you. Yeah. It has been a lot of fun. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you that having like a travel experience with accommodation and transportation, you can capture that within the landscape, or if there's wildlife nearby the accommodation, whatever, it's something that you can kind of incorporate into a travel photo.
Yeah. On this particular trip, I found it quite hard in La Paz because I was actually dying to photograph the people. Mm. But we all know that you can't just photograph anyone these days. So, but in the past, we were able to just stop and photograph people. But so I kept on looking, and one client particularly likes mother and baby photography to promote to improve nutrition. So I kept on looking at that, but I kept on saying, no, you're not on that sort of a trip. Yeah,
the people in La Paz, I think, are a little bit more standoffish towards photography, especially like street style.
Yes.
It's something to do with the Quechua First Nations culture, believing that an image steals part of your soul.
Oh, right.
Yeah, which is actually not that uncommon in other
Yes.
First Nations cultures as well.
Yes, sure.
Whereas
in
if you go to,
India,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I've done work in India and China, and you do have to be careful. Right?
Yeah,
Being
absolutely.
photographed.
Absolutely. Okay, well, Libby Edwards, guys, this has been a great conversation. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Well, thank you. It's been an absolutely amazing trip. And TRVL Photography, your new company with Brendan, is just amazing because I think you're doing a really good job.
Thank
and
you.
it's very enjoyable.
Thank you very much. So yeah, if you guys are interested in joining a trip just like this and being able to travel with somebody like Lily, be sure to check out the website, which is always linked in the description below. But from here in Bolivia, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode where I think we're going to bring back, he hasn't even been on yet. This is only episode 3. Mr. Van Son, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Trying
Great.
to kill 2 birds with 1 stone on this trip.
Good.
But yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Thanks so much too.
All right. Bye-bye, guys.